At first, it was just a whisper, a quiet, stirring presence, so faint and delicate it felt more like a feeling than a sound. You couldn't name it, not exactly. It was more like an ache inside your chest, the kind of ache that creeps in during those long, sleepless nights when you find yourself staring up at the sky, wondering if anyone else in the entire universe has ever felt quite as small. And not the kind of small that makes you feel insignificant, but the kind of small that fills you with awe, like you are standing at the edge of something vast, endless, and full of wonder. You watch the stars with eyes wide open, letting their ancient light pour into you. They shine not just as points of brilliance, but as reminders, each one a story that began long before you were born. And you think, maybe there's something more, something beyond. What if you could reach it? What if you could leave this spinning world behind and simply go in one direction, forever? Now, imagine you step aboard a spaceship. It's not built for speed in the traditional sense. It doesn't roar or rumble or explode with fury. It simply accelerates, constantly, steadily, like a heartbeat that never stops. 10 meters per second squared. That's it. Enough to press you gently into your seat with the comfort of Earth's gravity, but with no intention of slowing down. Not ever. You feel the vibration of the engines humming softly beneath your feet, the subtle tension in the hull as the ship begins to drift away from the cradle of your childhood. Earth becomes a memory faster than you thought possible. The blue fades to pale, then gray, then nothing. You pass the moon with a blink. Saturn becomes a distant ornament. Neptune blinks by like a forgotten lighthouse at the edge of a vast cosmic sea. And then, darkness. Not emptiness, not silence. Just the kind of darkness that feels like it could swallow a soul whole if it wanted to. But it doesn't. It simply watches. Inside the ship, time feels steady. You eat, you sleep, you dream. You wonder. Outside the ship, though, time begins to break. Stars stretch like melted light across your windows. Constellations warp into unfamiliar shapes. Everything you thought you knew about the sky begins to lose meaning. You see not the past or the future, but something else, the present unraveling. And that's when it begins to sink in. This isn't just a journey through space. This is a journey through time. You realize the faster you go, the more you step out of sync with the universe you left behind. The clocks on Earth tick faster now. Generations live and die in what feels to you like a moment. You begin to dream more vividly now. You dream of oceans that glow in the dark, of children born beneath red suns, of cities built from stardust and music. You dream of voices calling out your name, though you know they never existed. And every time you wake, you wonder, have I gone farther than any living thing has ever gone before? Yes, but the journey is just beginning, because what waits ahead is not just distance. It's the vanishing, the slipping away, the realization that you may be chasing a horizon that doesn't want to be caught, and still you keep going. Because the whisper you heard all those years ago, that ache in your chest that pushed you to leave everything behind, has grown louder now. It's no longer a whisper. It's a promise that at the end of this journey, wherever it leads, you will finally understand. Not just the shape of the universe, but the shape of yourself. There comes a moment in every journey when you realize that turning back is no longer an option, not because you're unwilling, but because returning is impossible. You don't remember exactly when that moment happened. It didn't come with a loud alarm or a dramatic announcement. It just slipped in quietly, like most irreversible things do. Maybe it was when the stars began to vanish one by one, not behind you, but ahead. Maybe it was when the windows showed fewer galaxies and more void. Maybe it was when you finally understood what it meant to be alone in a way no human had ever been before. The space outside your ship no longer sparkles. It breathes, it pulses. Not with life, but with something deeper. A tension that feels like it's waiting. As if the universe knows you're coming and has paused to watch. You try to shake the feeling, but it stays with you. Every time you look out, every time you close your eyes. It hums under your skin. The silence has changed too. It's no longer the peaceful quiet of space. It's heavier, more present. The silence of something ancient holding its breath. Your ship's systems still work perfectly. Your heartbeat remains steady. But the stars, they don't twinkle anymore. They stretch, elongate, blur into threads of light that curve unnaturally. You know this isn't your imagination. It's the effect of speed, your ship brushing the limits of what's possible. Time bends, light distorts, space stretches. And then it happens. The great shift. Not outside the ship, but within. You look at the coordinates and realize that you've crossed the 8.3 billion light-year mark. There is no boundary sign, no warning. But you know because your stomach drops, not from gravity, but from truth. You have passed into a region of space that, no matter what you do, you can never return from. The universe behind you is moving away faster than you can chase it. The thread has snapped. The door has shut. You are free, and utterly, terrifyingly untethered. You sit there, staring at the navigation screen. It still shows your trajectory, still responds to your touch. But it no longer matters, because nothing you can do will get you back. Earth is not just a memory. It is a ghost, a place that still exists, but no longer belongs to your story. You close your eyes and think of it anyway. The smell of rain on pavement, the warmth of a sunlit morning, laughter echoing in a crowded room, the way someone once held your hand and made the world feel safe. You remember it all, and it hurts, not like a wound, but like a beautiful song you'll never hear again. You've reached the threshold. Beyond this point, the laws of connection fall apart. Signals sent from your ship will never reach Earth. Signals from Earth will never reach you. Even if you shouted into the void, the sound would freeze in place, stuck in a universe that can no longer follow your path. And yet, the journey does not stop. Because something in you, something ancient and burning and restless, wants to know what lies ahead. Not because it will change anything, but because you can't help it. Because the question is louder than the fear. What is at the edge? What lies beyond everything? And in that question, you find your answer. You don't travel to escape. You travel to understand, to be continued. You begin to feel it long before you see it. It starts as a sensation, as though the air inside your ship has thinned, not in pressure, but in presence. Something invisible has shifted. The stars no longer just fade. They vanish. Not behind you, not above or below, but ahead. The dark doesn't deepen. It multiplies. Every hour, the universe looks just a little more empty, a little less alive. And still, your ship surges forward, cradling you like a lone ember carried through a cosmic blizzard. You watch as galaxies dissolve into invisibility. Not because they cease to exist, but because their light, even moving at the fastest speed nature allows, will never catch up to you. It's not death, not even silence. It's erasure, a kind of gentle goodbye that leaves no echo. You wonder if this is what memory becomes at the edge of time. A picture that can't be retaken, a story that can't be told again. You knew this would happen. You understood it in theory. The expansion of space itself, pulling everything apart, faster and faster, like threads being stretched until they snap. But understanding something isn't the same as feeling it. And now you feel it in your bones. the ache of separation, the finality of goodbye, repeated endlessly with every heartbeat, with every flickering star that disappears from your view. You are not just outside the known universe now, you are outside its reach. You've crossed into a realm where nothing can follow, where no call, no light, no signal from anyone who ever loved you can arrive. And yet, you keep going, not out of madness or pride, but because some part of you still believes that beyond this, nothing lies something, a meaning, a revelation, a truth. And then the moment comes. You look out your window and see nothing. No stars, no galaxies, no glow, not even a whisper of dust. It is not blackness, not in the way we imagine night. It is absence. And for the first time you feel fear. Not because you're in danger, you are not. Your ship is still functioning, your life support systems are steady, you are healthy, you are alive. But what shakes you is the realization that you may be the only one who is. In all directions, in all of the universe that you can now access, there is only you. And time behaves differently now. You know from the ship's records that thousands, maybe millions of years have passed elsewhere. But inside, for you, it's just another day. You eat, you sleep, you breathe. You keep a journal, though there's no one left to read it. You speak aloud sometimes just to hear a voice, your own voice echoing back from polished metal walls. You're not sure if it brings comfort or sadness, perhaps both. Occasionally you dream of Earth, but it's not the Earth you left. In your dreams it's quieter. The oceans are still. The cities are covered in moss. Sometimes there are people, but their faces are indistinct. You try to speak to them, but your voice doesn't work. You reach out and your hand passes through them like mist. You wake with tears on your cheeks, not from pain, but from the realization that even memory is starting to fade. One day you realize that something strange has happened. The clock on your ship has stopped updating. It's not broken, at least not mechanically, but it's stopped registering time because time, as you understand it, no longer matters here. You are so far removed from everything that even the universe itself no longer seems to acknowledge your movement. You are, in every sense, alone. And that is when the second realization hits. If no light can reach you, and you can reach no one, then what is left to discover? You ponder this as you float through the void. The answer is quiet, but it comes. Yourself. In the stillness, in the absence, in the absolute and total solitude, you begin to see parts of yourself you didn't know existed. You recall things from childhood, scraped knees, whispered secrets, stolen moments under trees in summer sun. You think of the way your mother smiled when she was trying not to cry, the way your father stood a little taller when no one was looking, the way you once stood in a mirror and wondered who you'd become. Now you know. You've become this, the witness to the vanishing, the last breath in a universe slipping towards silence. And then, just as your heart begins to accept this fate, something changes. Not a light, not a sound, not a sign, but a feeling.
A presence. You can't explain it. There are no sensors to confirm it, no instruments to verify it. But something has shifted. It's as if the very fabric of reality has curled slightly inward, like the edge of a paper catching flame. You press your hand to the glass, you hold your breath, you wait. And in that still moment, it occurs to you that perhaps the edge was never a place. Perhaps it was always a moment. A threshold not of location, but of understanding. And now you've reached it. Not the end of the universe, but the beginning of meaning. There, in the void, beyond stars, beyond sound, beyond story, you understand. You were never meant to conquer the universe. You were meant to listen to it, to witness it, to feel it, to carry it even as it slips away. And though no one may ever hear your name again, though your journey may go unrecorded and your face forgotten, you have left something behind, a path, a possibility, a promise. That one day, someone else will feel the same ache in their chest. They will look up at the stars, and they will wonder. And that is enough. That is everything.